Believe it or not, exercises for knee pain do not need to be complicated to be effective. They just need to strengthen the right muscles the right way to help the knee function better and relieve pain. My name is Dr. Jared, and that's exactly what I want to share with you in this video today. These are 8 simple yet incredibly effective exercises that you can do right at home to help your knee feel better. When it comes to movement at the knee, you have 2 primary muscle groups that control how the knee bends. You've got your quadriceps muscles here in the front and your hamstrings group here in the back. But what a lot of people don't realize is that the hip muscles control where that knee bends in space. And so we need to also address the hip flexors here in the front, the abductors on the side, and the extensors in the back. All of these areas and all of these groups need to be strong and fire at the right time in order for pain-free motion to occur. So we're going to address all of them with the exercises in this video. Of course, if this does help you out, if you do get some relief from this, hit the thumbs up button, leave a comment down below. I always love to hear from you. So that being said, here's our first exercise. It's going to be simple, it's going to be basic, but it is so important. This is a quad set or a quadriceps set. You're going to sit with your legs extended. Now, really simple, we're just going to fire this muscle right here on the top. So I'm going to contract that muscle, try to push your knee down into the table and hold that for about a 5-second count and then relax. And then contract and hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. And what we're doing with this, it seems really simple, but we're creating this mind-muscle connection to that muscle, telling it to fire, telling it to turn on, telling it to get ready for more exercises that are coming. So this is a great place to start. Again, about 5-second holds, and usually we repeat that 20 to 30 times. To start to introduce a little bit of motion, we're going to do an exercise called a short arc quad. This is exercise number 2. I have a foam roller that I'm going to put under my knees. You can also use a pillow that's doubled up or a big towel that's rolled up. You just need something to introduce a little bit of a bend into your knee. Now what we're going to do is still fire that quad muscle, but when we do that now, it's going to lift the heel up about 8 to 12 inches off of the ground. We're going to hold that for about a 3-second count and then slowly lower back down. So with this, we're still firing this quad, we're still getting some good activation here, but we're introducing just a little bit of movement right here in what we call the terminal range of motion. Most knee conditions are very tolerant to this. And so the same numbers apply on this. I would repeat this for about 20 to 30 repetitions. If that feels okay, the next progression to the short arc quads would be what we call a long arc quad. And so now you can sit with your knee fully bended. So now I've got a 90-degree bend in my knee. Same thing applies. I'm going to contract this quad muscle, straighten that out. I want to try to lift the heel up so that it's even with my knee. Hold 2 or 3 seconds and then go ahead and relax. Now this does put a little more compressive force in the knee joint. It does have some potential to aggravate it a little bit more. And so if that's your case, just go back to the short arc quad exercise. That's still going to get the job done, strengthening and firing this quad right here. And then about 30 repetitions is a good number to shoot for. About 3 sets of 10 is typically what we do. Now, one of your quadriceps muscles, it's called your rectus femoris, actually crosses your hip joint and contributes to hip flexion as well. So the next progression to the exercise is going to be to start to add some motion at the hips or in the hip flexors as well. And so this is going to be a straight leg raise. We're going to sit again with the leg extended, fire that quad muscle right here on the top, so a really good strong quad contraction, and then I'm going to lift that heel up about 18 or so inches off of the table, hold that for about a 3-second count, and then come right back down. I really want you to focus on firing the quad. I want you to hold that nice and tight. If you notice that there's a little bit of a bend in your knee as you raise your heel up, you're not doing the exercise correctly. Really try to focus on firing that quad, keeping that knee totally locked out as we introduce this hip flexion motion. You're going to feel that in the quad muscle. You're also going to feel that up here in the hip flexors. sets of 10, so about 3 sets of 10 is a really good number to shoot for with that one. So again, that was quad combined with hip flexors. We're going to move into the hip abductors now. In my opinion, one of the most important muscles that controls knee pain and knee movement, but we often overlook it. And so to do that, what we're going to do is some side-lying hip abduction. I'm going to lay down on my unaffected side. So right now, if it were my right knee that was painful, lay down on your left side. My left leg is bent, my right leg is out straight. What I'm going to do is fire that quad, so I want that knee nice and straight. And now I'm going to lift my right heel up towards the ceiling. Hold that 1, 2, 3, and then return right back down. Make sure we keep our hips stacked, one right on top of the other. The tendency is for people to let that hip roll backwards and lead with their toe. I want you to keep your hips one on top of the other and try to lead with your heel in that motion. You should feel this right up here in your hip abductor muscles, and then 3 sets of 10 is a good number to shoot for with that one. Okay, and then we're going to move over into the hip extensors, so into the glute group in the back. This is a way that we can also introduce some hamstring muscle activation as well. These are going to be some hamstring bridges. And so you're going to lay down on your back with your heels kind of dug into the floor. And the first step is to actually push your heels down into the floor. So kind of dig in with that. And what you're going to feel is these hamstring muscles activate as soon as you do that. And so dig down with those heels, feel those hamstring muscles activate. With the hamstrings active, now we're going to contract in the glutes to lift the hips up towards the ceiling. So we get some good hamstring contraction coupled with the hip extensor contraction with the glute contraction as we do these bridges. Again, we're going to hold for about 3 to 5 seconds up there at the top, get a really good contraction, and then we're going to lower right back down. And 3 sets of 10 is a great number to shoot for with this one. Now that hamstring bridge is a great isometric contraction for your hamstrings. That means we're contracting it, but really there's no motion occurring. If we want to progress that to the next level, we start to introduce a little bit of motion. Standing hamstring curls is my favorite way to do that. What we're going to do is come somewhere where you can maintain your balance, somewhere where you can feel safe. So a counter or a table or a chair or even a hand on the wall, those are all good options. And now what I'm going to do is stand on my unaffected leg. So I'm standing on my right. If my left were the one with the knee pain, I'm going to bend my left knee. I'm going to pull my heel up towards my backside, hold here at the top, 1, 2, 3, and then slowly return back down to the starting position. And what you should feel is just a really good contraction right here in the back of your leg. That's where your hamstring muscles sit. We need to keep those strong, again, for normal knee motion to occur. And so we would do about a set of 10 of those and repeat that 3 times. Finally, what we need to do is put everything together into what we would call a compound movement, or really one of the most functional movements that we do as human beings is going to be this sit to stand motion. And so a box squat or a seat squat is a great option to train that. What we're going to do is back up to a chair, take just a really small step forward, just so that that chair is not touching the back of your legs. Now in this position, I'm going to hinge at my hips and then use my quads, use my hips to lower down until I just touch that seat. I don't want you to flop into the seat. So lower until we just touch and then reverse that motion. So we're firing quads, we're firing glutes. This is a great way to train a functional motion that's compound. We're using the knees, we're using the hips, we're training all of these in a nice, safe environment. If you need to do these at a counter or at a table to put your hands on to steady yourself or to pull yourself back up into this upright position, feel free to do that. And just like the other exercises we've been doing, 3 sets of 10 is a great number to shoot for. Now, if you need more help with your knee pain, I've got you covered here on Tone and Tighten. Check out this video for more. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit the circle right here to do that. I would love to see you back for future videos. Hope this helps. Hope to see you again soon.